Aya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishak Nitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Vishraya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Chatyadeshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkipadam Mande Shri Guru Din Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Shatan Vishwa Vishnu Badaya Krishna Vishnu Vishnu So, Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome you all for this our weekly Srimad Bhagavatam session. So, today we are going to read, discuss Canto 4, chapter 11. So, we'll do a quick recap, but just let me see how many participants are there. Okay, so just what is a condition supply that this chapter is a bit philosophical. Last week when Sri Rekha Mataji was taking, so she already gave a what do you say, a warning sort of that next chapter is quite philosophical. So when Mataji told this, I was a little bit, because I knew next is my session, so I was just getting little cautious that, because whenever the chapter or some discussion is philosophical, we see whenever we are taking Bhakti Viksha or Bhagavatam, we see many times when we are discussing, half of the people sleep. I am not the exception as well. So, and this is a virtual session, so nobody opens up their videos. So I'm not sure how it is going to be today. So I'll try to make it possible, if possible, some interactive, so that I know if everybody is awake or not. It's a general philosophy which we discuss very often in our sessions. Nothing very extraordinary, highly philosophy which we cannot understand. But it's a good, what to say, a mixture of, so that way I say always that Srimad Bhagavatam, that advantage is there, that when Sri Rekha Mataji was taking last week's session, she was telling that there is all action, like there was a fight and all that. There was no philosophy in that. And now the next chapter come where there is a full discussion, between two personalities. Or actually, it's not a discussion, so it's a one-way communication. So we just, so that's the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam, that this high philosophy which is required. Many times people complain that Bhagavad Gita, they are not able to read because it's a high philosophy. And that's why this beautifully, this Srimad Bhagavatam is there, that there are wonderful pastimes of the Lord and his devotees. And in between those things, we have beautiful philosophy which keeps our faith in the Lord and the process intact, or rather, it increases our faith in this process of devotional service. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is a wonderful combination of both. So we'll just quickly recap the chapter and then we'll move to the chapter. So 2 weeks back, Satyabhama Mataji had covered about the pastimes of Dhruva Charitra, how he gets insulted by his stepmother, and he goes to his mother, Suruchi, and Suruchi guides him to go to jungle, and where he meets Narad Muni, and Narad Muni gives him instructions, and he does the tapasya, and at the end of 6 months, Lord Narayan appears, and there was a beautiful conversation between Dhruva and Lord Narayana. And one of the beautiful point which I always feel excited about, or feel enthusiastic about, is that when Dhruv Maharaj is want to offer some prayers, he's not able to speak. And when Lord touches the head of Dhruva with conch, spontaneously, prayer starts coming. So this is a wonderful lesson, and this is covered in this chapter as well. That if we have to, understand God or glorify the Lord, it is only possible by the mercy of the Lord. Anyway, so that is the most famous part of Dhruv Charitra. But then there is second aspect which is being covered now, is that how in previous chapter. So previous chapter started with Dhruva's marriage and his kids, and but one of the important event which happens is that Dhruva's brother Uttama is killed by yakshas, actually by one yaksha. But Dhruva becomes very angry and he attacks Alkapuri, which is the capital of yakshas, the capital of Kubera actually, and there all the yakshas stay. So fight happens between Dhruva and yakshas. Yakshas have a lot of mystic powers and they try to defeat Dhruva, but Dhruva bravely fight backs and the yaksha run off. So now Dhruva enters into Alkapuri, but there are various illusions which are created by yakshas, which literally bewilders him. Like they create dust storms, mystic mountains, animals, oceans, many more things. The illusions they create, and Dhruv Maharaj gets totally bewildered. But then Krishna has given guarantee in Bhagavad Gita, Namay Bhaktya Pranashyati. So Krishna sends somebody to save a devotee. So here the sages arrive there and they remind Dhruv Maharaj that simply in the chanting of the name of the Lord, one can be protected by the greatest of the dangers. We see in Bhagavad Gita also, Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mato bhayat. Biggest dangers also we can overcome just by doing the devotional service. So this was one of the last shloka which Sri Rekha Mataji also covered last week, was about the glories of the Lord. So sages are saying here, dear Dhruva, O son of King Uttanapad, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead known as Sharanga Dhanva, who relieves the distresses of his devotees, kill all your threatening enemies. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord himself. And therefore, simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, many men can be fully protected from the fierce death without difficulty. Thus, a devotee is saved. So basically, whenever we are chanting the name of the Lord, we are personally taking the association of the Lord. So it's mentioned the holy name of the Lord is as powerful as Lord himself. Just simply by chanting the name of the Lord, a person can be saved from the greatest of the dangers. So this is where the chapter ended, last chapter, 10th chapter. So this chapter outline is like this, that first 5 shloka, Dhruva overcomes the Yaksha's illusion, because as I told, the Dhruva is entering into Alkapuri and Yakshas have created illusion. Then next whole chapter from 6th shloka till 35 shloka, Swayambhu Manu gives various instructions to Dhruv Maharaj on why he should not kill yakshas. First, he gives some reasons why he should not kill. And then for 15 to 26 shloka, he just emphasizes the fact that a person should understand that Supreme Lord is the cause of everything. And in last 7, 8 shlokas, he tells Dhruv Maharaj to give up the anger which he has against yakshas and surrender to the Lord. So this is what, so it's a, as I was saying, it's a one-way communication chapter where apart from first 5 shlokas, Swayambhu Manu is just giving instructions. There is no reply back also from Dhruv Maharaj. It's just the instruction of Swayambhu Manu. I hope everybody knows that Swayambhu Manu, and we have discussed this, and Shatrupa, they are the first human beings which are created by Brahma. Of course, there were many created, but they were created for the progeny. And we had discussed their further lineage, that Uttanapad and Priyavrata are their 2 sons, and there were 3 daughters, Devahuti, Akuti, and Ahuti, I believe so. So we had discussed Devahuti's conversation, and um, then Sati pastimes happen because Daksha is one of the son of of Akuti, I believe. So like that, this whole lineage is. So Swayambhu Manu, who is the grandfather of Dhruv Maharaj, he comes there and he gives the instruction in this chapter. So we see the first 2 shlokas are where Dhruva, after hearing the encouraging words of sages, he does the Ashmana and fix the Narayan Astra. Narayan Astra is the Astra which is given by sages to the Dhruv Maharaj, and he fixed this Astra on his bow. So as soon as the Dhruva did that, immediately, even he has not even fired the Astra yet, Narayanastra. So immediately all the illusions which Yakshas has created, that disappears. And the analogy which is given here is that just as the pains and pleasures get vanquished, as soon as one becomes self-realized, Klesha Gyan Udaya Yatha, means as soon as the knowledge, Gyan Udaya, means is revealed, uh, all the kleshas, all the miseries of the life, they go away. So very wonderful analogy is given there. So Prabhupada writes wonderful purports. Actually, in this whole chapter, Prabhupada has written wonderful purports. So what I've done is I've written the shloka translations and some wonderful points on each of the purport. So then again, Prabhupada is emphasizing the importance of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So as soon as a person takes the name of the Lord or performs the devotional service, which are the various angas of devotional service, the Maya or the illusion is automatically disappears. So Prabhupada is quoting very wonderful shloka from Bhagavad Gita, very famous shloka. Devi hiesha gunamai mama maya duratya mameva ye prapadyante maya me etam tarantite. So Devi hiesha gunamai. Krishna is saying that my Maya is, which is Devi, means because it's the energy of the Lord, is very duratya. It is very difficult to overcome. Mameva ye prapadyante. But anybody who surrenders to Krishna, Krishna is talking about me, anybody who surrenders to me, Maya metan tananti. For him to overcome Maya is very, very easy, you know. So, if we want to overcome, we always keep saying that, Maya is there and this thing. But for a devotee, there is no effect of Maya. It is very easy to overcome. Another famous sloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which Prabhupada quotes in this purport, is Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andhakar, Yahan Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Ra Adhikar. So Krishna is like Surya or sun, and Maya is like Andhakar. So sunlight and Andhakar, they both cannot stay together. So whenever the sunlight comes, the Andhakar or the darkness goes away. So Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Ra Adhikar. So wherever Krishna is there, there Maya has no adhikar, Maya has no right. So that's why we always say that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Ye thamam prapadyante tam sadaiv bhajami. So what is our level of surrender? Krishna reciprocates accordingly. So Krishna manages a devotee's life to the level of surrender he has to Krishna. So a person who is fully surrendered, for a pure devotee, his life is fully managed by, you know, Krishna. Krishna manages the. So it is very important, and that's the whole essence of this chapter also, that we should surrender to the Lord, Supreme Lord. And another famous shloka, which is related to this, which Prabhupada is quoting in the purport, is Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yakne Sangeetane Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasha. So Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32 is a very famous shloka, which also used by Gaudiya Vaishnavas to explain that how Krishna has predicted that he will come himself in the Kali Yuga in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. Although Krishna will come, but his Varna will be, his complexion will be a Krishna. So he will not be dark. Sanga Upanga Astra Parshadam. This is the break of this. And why this is highlighted is Sanga Ango means some along with his associates. Upanga means servants, Astra, the weapons, and Parshva associate. So he will come, Krishna will come in Kali Yuga along with his associate servants and Astra. But what is the Astra? Yakne Sankirtane Prayar Yajanti. So that Astra would be Sankirtan Yajna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has predicted in this age of Kali Yuga, Harinam Sankirtan, has propagated Harinam Sankirtan and Sumedha Shaha. So people who are intelligent, they will do this work. What is that work? Sankirtana Yagna, congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So why Prabhupada has used this specifically Sango Pangastra Parshadam? Because in this shloka, the Narayan Astra is being referred. That Dhruva has basically put the Narayan Astra on his bow. So here, what is the astra to cut the maya of in this age of Kali Yuga is Harinam Sankirtan. Just by congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord, we can overcome all the ignorance, we can overcome all the maya in this Kali Yuga. Because this Kali Yuga is an age of hypocrisy. It's an age of cheating. In this, these propensities are too high. But just by chanting the name of the Lord, we can overcome all the greatest, um, uh, illusion of Maya. Now, Dhruva, then 3 to 5 shlokas, then we see how Dhruva massacres Yakshas. So Dhruva fires the weapons with golden shafts, and hissing sound arrows enter into enemy's army like peacock enters into the forest with crowing sound. So I'm not sure how many of you have seen how the peacocks, they fly. They don't fly very high, and they make the sound and they enter into the forest. That kind of weapons Dhruva fired. And Yaksha, they get really agitated by the sharp arrows, and they also respond back. They raise their arrow weapons like a snake with the raised hood attacking Garuda. So when they are attacked by Garuda, they fire back. They just makes a lot of they raise their hoods and they make the sound. So that is the analogy which is given here. And Dhruva bravely he cuts the limbs of yakshas with arrows and sends them to the planets above sun globe, which is attainable by the first class brahmacharis who never discharge their semen. So Dhruva basically kills a lot of yakshas, and it is told that as soon as they are killed, they go to the planet above sun globe. And Prabhupada, mentions below in the purport that the planet above sun globe is Brahmaloka, Satyaloka. So one of the important points which Prabhupada makes here is that killing of a person by Supreme Lord or the devotee of the Lord is auspicious. We have seen in Bhagavatam, in 10th Canto, there are many, or rather in everywhere, wherever Lord is killing in various incarnations, he is killing the demons, it is all mentioned, they all got liberated. So here also, what happens is that, when the Dhruva is killing the yakshas, so they are going to the higher planets. They are not going to the. So it's so auspicious to get killed by either by the Lord or the pure devotee of the Lord. So Prabhupada also emphasized, and another point which he mentions in many purports is that, killing is not always bad. Punishment by the kings in earlier times were good. So, anybody who is, killing others, actually, as per Manu Samhita, they should be punished. They should be given death sentence. And by doing so, actually, we are doing them a favor because they have done such a heinous crime, and the reaction of such a crime is very high. So in today's world, we lot of countries they have this kind of concept that they don't acknowledge the death sentence. They say we should give them life sentence or some harsh this thing, but they don't. We should not give them death sentence. And in India also, there is many often we these kind of demands are being raised. But Prabhupada, and rather our scriptures say in that way that to get rid of that person of the sinful reactions of killing some other human being is, by giving him death penalty. And in this context, even if we are killing the animals, those are offenseless animals who are not doing any harms to us, but for our sense enjoyment, if we are killing them, then we have to be ready with the reactions to that. So, and Prabhupada, since the shloka talks about the brahmacharis who never discharge their semen, Prabhupada also emphasizes on the restricted sex life for grastas and complete celibacy for brahmacharis for the higher elevation. So when we enter into grasta life, most of us here who are attending this session are grastas. So grasta life is not meant for unrestricted sexual enjoyment. The sexual intercourse should always be only for the procreation, not for the self enjoyment. Unfortunately, today's world has become so much centered around the sexual urges that you see even in the when you go on the road, you see the big hoardings, and we see the half naked men and women, and that is all. And even the today's youth, they get so much are driven by these urges. Earlier when they were we in our society where it is varnashrama system, which is Vedic system of living, even till the one or two generations back, we see that there was so much societal pressure was there to not indulge into this thing. But in today's world, there is no society pressure on youngsters, and they are getting indulged into so much illicit activities, which is very unfortunate. I actually I've shared this with many of you that I go for morning walk in nearby park, and sometimes it is so difficult to walk when we see youngsters around. They're indulged in kind of activities. It is very unfortunate to see these things. Sometimes it is some elders, they scold them that what you are doing in a public place. But these youngsters are not, they are school or colleges nearby areas. They come in the park and they do. And sometimes it is so bad that I cannot even talk about it, that they are doing publicly. So it's the our Vedic culture has always emphasized that sexual life should be restricted. It should not be unrestricted. And if it is unrestricted, it's going to lead to the degradation of society, and that's what we are seeing now. Anyway, so the further in next what is it, 8 to 9 shlokas, Swambhu Manu is giving the reasons to Dhruv Maharaj not to kill. Swambhu Manu, Swambhu Manu, when he sees his grandson is killing yakshas, he, along with sages, he arrives there. So Prabhupada writes in purports that in present society also we see that sometimes the whole state is being attacked by other nations. For example, we can see this Russia-Ukraine war, which is going on now. Thousands and thousands of people are getting killed, both sides. Sometime back we had this Israel, this thing where the Hamas was attacking Israel. They kidnapped thousands of people, killed and kidnapped, and then Israel is retaliating. But ultimately, what is the fault of the common civilians? They are just getting, getting stuck between the political, desires of some of the people of those states, and ultimately they get punished for no fault of theirs. So Prabhupada is referring that is very unfortunate that the societies or the nations are attacking each other. So Swayambhu Manu, he says that he advises his son to, give up the anger and don't unnecessarily kill the yakshas. Actually, they are not offenders. He uses the word ati roshana, excessive anger. So, when an offenseless person is killed, Prabhupada writes in purport that such killing opens the path to hell. So Prabhupada explains that in killing, although in previous sloka he says that killing is not bad, but it should be for the some heinous crimes which is done by the somebody as a punishment for some bad deed, not for people who have not done any this thing. And Prabhupada say a Kshatriya is allowed to kill only for the maintenance of law and order. He cannot kill a Kshatriya, although he is supposed to be the person with the fighting spirit. His is the goal should be only to maintain law and order. So not just for his own pleasure he is killing somebody. So that is very important aspect for a for a this thing for a kshatriya. So in this Swayambhu Manu, then he says that, my dear son, the killing of sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities, and this does not fit our family, which is supposed to know the law and religion. So Manu is saying that, it does not, fit to our family, which is supposed to know the law of religion and irreligion. Anybody would like to say, just to make it not to, I don't want to make it a one-sided this thing. I just want, why Manu is saying that this family is supposed to know the law of religion and irreligion. Any thoughts?
Prabhuji, can I come in?
Yes, sure.
Because Swayambhu Manu is the one who wrote the code of religion, right?
Yes, yes. Very good, nice, Mataji. So, thank you, Mataji. So, because we all know that Manu Samhita is the scripture which is a sort of manual for the human life, that how a life should be this thing. So, Swayambhu Manu is saying that, because he is the one who has written the sutras that what a dharma and a dharma is. And now, if somebody from his family does this kind of acts, then it will not be fit for their family. And it is also not approved by the authorities. So Nasmat Kulochitam. Kulochitam means suitable for the dynasty. So it is not suitable for the dynasty, and Sat Vigharitam means it is condemned by the virtuous people. So he's in next shloka he says that, my dear son, I understand that you are aggrieved by the killing of your brother, but you should just think about this, that only one yaksha has killed your brother, but in the retaliation you have killed so many people who are innocent. So Swayambhu Manu is basically advising that he should not kill so many yakshas just because so one should act sorry, one should not accept the body as the self, or and thus kill like animals, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by saintly person who follow the path of devotional service to Supreme Personality of God. Specifically, so their instruction here, which Manu is giving, is that, and we'll see why specifically, because Dhruva is on the path of devotional service. He's a pure devotee of the Lord, and he had the darshan of the Lord at a very young age. So for him, getting into this kind of activity is not this thing. And this applies to us also, because we are also on the path of devotional service. So we unnecessarily, we should not kill, other animals, specifically eating non-veg, because when we are killing the innocent animals for our own sense gratification, it's a heinous crime, because we are taking the life of an innocent living being. And also, it's by our words. Actually, acharyas say that, we can kill the others by words also. So we should be very cautious when we speak to others. We should not hurt others by our words also. That is also considered as a hinsa, although it is not referred here. But I'm just saying that, sometimes devotees are very, they become too much straightforward and they start acting like some of the great acharyas. Maybe sometimes some of the gurus in our ISKCON are very straightforward. They talk like that, but they can do it. Prabhupada used to call rascals to scientists and all that. But if we go out on preaching and we speak like that, rascals, fools, so it's not appropriate on us. Acharya can do that. So sometimes I see, some Prabhu would be speaking, and then when you tell them that, Prabhu, why are you speaking like that? My guru speaks like that. So I have learned to speak straightforward. Then I told, your guru can speak. I'm not saying, I'm just thinking in my mind that, your guru can speak because he is a acharya. He is a personality who has perfected his life. Have we perfected our life to that level that we can speak so bluntly to others and to the level that we hurt others? So we should be very, very cautious on that aspect. Okay. So the word here used here is Rishikeshanu Vartinam. So the person who is a follower of Rishikesha. So that person cannot act abominable. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, the saintly person is he who follows the path of rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesha. So we should always remember the sutra which is given in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, which says the Sarvo Padir Vinirmuktam Tat Paritvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. So when bhakti, on the path of bhakti, we have to get rid of all the designations. Sarvo Padir Vinirmuktam. So we should not think that I am the king, I am the ruler, I am the head of the family, I am the head of the office, and so I can do anything. There are certain rules and regulations which are prescribed. Of course, we'll see in later shlokas that for some responsible positions, we are supposed to do the scolding, but that does not mean that we can take abominable actions like killing others and all that. So we should be very, very careful because bhakti means rishikena rishikesha sevanam. So what we have to do is we have to engage our senses in the service of rishikesha. What is the meaning of the word rishikesha? Who will tell?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Rishika means senses.
Mm.
Isha means master.
Mm.
Rishikesha, master of senses.
Correct. So Rishikesh means, so he is the master of our senses. Thank you, Mataji. So the senses need to be engaged in the service of the senses of the master. Oh, sorry, master of the senses. Then and then we have to follow the conduct like a saintly person. Mahajana yeta gata supanta. So for what is the guideline for, what is a triangle for devotees to follow any, if we have to take any decision in our life, what is the triangle we should follow?
Guru Sadhu Shastra.
Guru Sadhu Shastra. So our act should be, and that's what the Manu is saying here, it's Guru Sadhu Shastra. So he's saying that saintly person. For us, it should be, our decision should be always within this triangle of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So we should follow our scriptures, we should be taking guidance from Guru and follow the footsteps of sadhus. So we should not do any act, being a devotee, that is not within the triangle of this thing. We should not do anything which is for our own sense gratification. So that's an important lesson here. So in Swambhu Manu further gives that it is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you have already destined to go that abode by worshipping him as the supreme abode of all living entities. So Dhruva has already achieved, his destination is already fixed. For us sadhakas, we are struggling to reach that goal of going back to Godhead in this life itself. But Dhruva has got, in the 5 years of age, he has got the darshan of the Lord and he is already destined to go back, this thing. So by doing so, so Manu is saying that it is very difficult for the others to achieve. You have already achieved. So now how can you, do something like that? So in next shloka says, because you are a pure devotee of the Lord Lord is always thinking of you. You are also recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised at why you have undertaken such an abominable act. So Manu is giving various reasons that you have. So previous 11 shloka is saying you have already achieved such a high standard of life, which other saintly people, they spend the whole lives and lives together to achieve that goal of going back to God, and you have already achieved that. You are a pure devotee of the Lord. And it's not just Lord is always thinking about you, and you are recognized by all his confidential devotees. Then your life is meant for exemplary behavior. So one lesson to learn here is that, our act should be being a devotee. We may not be pure devotee like Dhruva, but still, many times it happens that, when we are going on the road and all that, and, a devotee with the tilak, or not, I'm not saying in ISKCON context, anybody who is looking like a very devotional, if he gets into some fighting or something, then people will not say the person who is wrong. The person say, hey, you are like a spiritual person, you look, and you are acting like so the people expects a very high standard of behavior for a practicing spiritualist. So famous shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam, yat yat acharati shreshtat tattad eve tarojana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. So whatever the great personalities do, all the general people, they follow that. And this we see in today's society. One of the reasons for degradation of society is that our leaders are not of very high character. And Prabhupada, of course, that will be a totally different topic, that Prabhupada has even suggested that what should be the leaders of the society, specifically political leaders, should be. So, but not just in the political society, political circles, in all fields of life, the leaders today are not very of high character. They're getting into illicit activities. And people then, common people looking at them, they think, oh, that's the standard we are following. So that's why Prabhupada used to say the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is to make Brahmanas. So to create the people with the exemplary standard of life. So that's what is our movement. Our movement is not creating any, low standard people. So Prabhupada, again, this is a very important point which Prabhupada makes in the purport, is that king or the executive head of state, the father and the school teachers are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. So basically, when you are at a very responsible position like a king, like a father, or the guru or teacher, then your behavior cannot be of lower standard, So, nowadays, unfortunately, either kings or the parents or the teachers are not of high standard of behavior. And because of that, what is happening is total degradation of the society. So for us, what is this? So we are a preaching movement. So for us, it is like we go out and preach to others Krishna consciousness that you should practice. But the Krishna consciousness can be, half of the, not just half actually, 90% of the preaching is done by our behavior, our conduct. Only 10% is philosophy and all that, actually speaking, if you see. So if our behavior is not matching with what we are talking in our classes, then we will not be able to inspire others. You know why Prabhupada went to Western world, and even to hippies he could do? Because he was, what do you say? He was walking the talk. Whatever he is talking, he is acting on that. And but for us, what happens is we have two lives. One life which is for the to show to the whole world, and one life which we do in private. And there is a big disconnect in that. So that's why we are not able to impress upon the people. And in agitating situations, in front of others, our real colors come out, and then people say, "Hey, he simply talks. He's not, acting upon that." So there is a story of a saint when a mother, she approaches, he takes his son and to the saint, and she says that he eats too much of sweet, so can you please instruct him not to eat? Then the saintly person says that, okay, come after 1 month. Then after 1 month, when she goes, so that saintly person tells to the kid, don't eat sweets. So then this lady says that, this you could have told 1 month back itself. So then that saintly person says that, For that, first I should stop the eating sweets. So the point is that we should our behavior should be of the we should try to improve on our material nature. We cannot continue to be with those lower modes of life, anarthas, kam, krodh, lobh, moh, man, masara. I understand that it's little difficult to overcome this thing, but bhakti, the path of bhakti is so purifying that just by engaging ourselves, we saw the shloka, Sarvupadir vinirmuktam tat paritvena nirmalam. We have to purify ourselves by engaging our senses in the service of the master of the senses, that is Lord Krishna. So, my favorite topic is this only, that achar versus prachar. So, we have so much emphasis on prachar in our movement. So, sometimes we get so much carried away by prachar that we don't work on our achar. But if we work on our achar or our conduct or our behavior, then automatically prachar will happen with our this thing by our own example. But since we are not able to overcome our lower propensities, our prachar does not get very effective. So when we are performing the devotional service, there should be a constant introspection that are we able to overcome our lower tendencies or not. If we are not able to overcome, then surely we should take some action. We should increase our sadhana. We should take the guidance from the senior devotees, and we should work upon that. We cannot be at the same level. I always say, and specifically now we are going to conduct Shiksha ceremony very soon. Whenever this Shiksha ceremony happens, it's very difficult to convince devotees to write Shiksha papers when they say, no, Prabhu, I'll not be able to do, or no, Mataji, I'll not be able to do because I still have anarthas. But how the anarthas will be able to overcome? By constant process of devotional service. We cannot say that I have anarthas and because of this I will not be able to make progress. To make progress, we have to overcome anarthas. For that, we have to perform the continuous devotional service. It's a process which is washing our anarthas. So we should work upon that. So we should simply don't work too much on prachar and not taking any action on our achar. It's not going to lead us. Maybe what will happen? The people who are coming behind by our this thing, they will go on, and we are still in this material world. We don't want to happen that to happen. We all should go together. Okay. So then Swayambhu Manu talks about some of the qualities which should be in the 13th shloka, which is Titikshaya Karunaya Maitriya Chakhila Jantushu Samatvena Cha Sarvatma Bhagavan Sam Prasidati. So what is Prasidati for? What is pleasing to the Lord is what? These qualities, some of them, which is Titiksha. Who will tell what is Titiksha?
Patience,
Tolerate, Mataji.
Tolerance.
tolerance, yes.
Karunya,
Compassion.
Mercy,
mercy or kindness or compassion. Maitreya,
Friendship.
Friendship.
friendship to everybody. Akhila Jantu Samatvena,
Compassion for all animals.
Samatvena means
Equal.
equal to everybody.
Equal,
Sarvatma, not
Equal.
just Jantushu.
Living entities.
Yeah, all living entity. Sarvatma, Sarvji, or means all living entity. If we have these qualities, what happens is?
Krishna will please.
Yes, Bhagavan Samprasidati. So, see, our bhakti principle is we do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. So, Swayambhu Manu is saying that if you want to please Lord, you have to have these qualities. So, this is a big lesson for all of us that, we are working day and night. What is our goal? Our goal is to please the Lord. But how will we please the Lord? By having these good qualities. So this is the translation. The Lord is very satisfied with the devotees when the devotees greet other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. So Lord expects us to have these qualities. So those who are reading Bhagavad Gita, you know how in 12th chapter, 13th chapter, and other chapters also, here, there, and in Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you read, it's full of the messages like that or the examples like that where the devotees have shown these qualities and Lord is pleased by them. So Lord get very pleased when the devotees, they work together for the pleasure of the Lord. So we are a small community of Radha Govindji circle. So our goal is to work together. Sometimes it is very difficult to work with devotees. But if we work with tolerating the other devotees and being compassionate to others, being friendly to everybody, and being equal to everybody, treat everybody equal, then what happens is then these qualities, they will please the Lord. So we should be very Swambhu Manu is giving the very important lesson for all of us to follow. So next sloka, Swambhu Manu says that one who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material condition. Thus being freed from all material modes of life, modes of nature, he achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. We all are looking for blissfulness, right? We all are looking for happiness in our life. And how it will be, possible? Only way to possible is, as Srimad Bhagavatam says, Sam Siddhir Haritoshanam. This is a shloka from second chapter, first canto. Very famous shloka. Atah pumbir dvija shrishta varnashram vibhagasha swantishtasya dharmasya sam siddhir haritoshanam. So highest perfection of the life, highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed in one's own occupation according to caste division and orders of life is to please personality of life or supreme personality of Godhead. So many times, a lot of people in this material world, they say, oh, we have to do our duty as a parents, our duty as a children, our duty as a this thing. So scriptures are not stopping us from doing our duties, but we should always remember that what is the goal? Goal of doing those duties, even if we are in Varna and Ashram, according to whatever status of life, order of life we are, we have to do it for the Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. It should be for the pleasure of Lord Hari. And when we do the activities for the Lord Hari, then automatically we become blissful. I think I have written there, and Prabhupada is saying, okay. Everyone in this material world is like, okay, yeah. So in this material, this is a purport Prabhupada is mentioning. Unfortunately, people do not know how to achieve this. Everybody wants to achieve happiness, blissful life, but they don't know how to do it. But for devotees, it's very easy because they understand that all the activities should be done for the pleasure of the Lord. So we hear that always that example that whenever the root is watered, automatically the tree is flourished. So if we work for the satisfaction of the Lord, if we follow the instructions which Krishna has given in Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and other scriptures, then what happens is that Lord is pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, then automatically we become blissful, we become happy. So this is a formula for getting the happiness in the life. But Prabhupada is saying, unfortunately, people don't know it. Now, in next, 10 or 11 shlokas, Swayambhu Manu is giving the why the Supreme Lord is the cause of everything. So, Swayambhu Manu starts with the 15th shloka where he says that everything in this material world is made of 5 elements, Pancha Tattvas. So, by the sexual intercourse of women and men, their material world is increased. So, it is a wrong notion to think that, I am the doer. So, famous shloka Prabhupada is quoting in purport, Prakate kriyamanani kunai karmani sarvasha ahankar vimudatma kartan miti manyate. So, out of all illusion, Jivatma thinks that I am the doer. But ultimately it is done by Prakriti. And who is the Prakriti? Is master of Prakriti. Mayadakshayin Prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Krishna says that under my superintendence, the Prakriti is working. So then indirect of cause of everything is direct cause is Prakriti, indirect cause is Lord. Then why we are thinking that I am the doer? So, this is, so Prabhupada is writing the death of the material body of his brother was not actually done by Yaksha. Actually, it was the act of material nature. And we'll see in further this thing that everybody is working under the cycle of karmic reactions. So nobody can say that, I am the doer. So Manu further continues that it is simply by the illusory material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by the interaction of three modes of material nature, creation, maintenance, and annihilation takes place. So we all have discussed in second canto and third canto in detail that how the creation of this material world takes place. It is Garbhodakshai Vishnu who, under the Brahma, under the instruction of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, he creates this thing, and ultimate cause of all causes is, Supreme Lord. So, the primary creator and secondary creator. Brahma is secondary creator. Primary creator is Lord Hari, Lord Krishna. So this modes of material nature interactions happens, and different kind of living entities gets created, and this material world's creation, annihilation, and maintenance, it happens inevitably. It happens on its own. So a person, but the problem in this thing, as it told few shlokas back, is that under the effect of illusory energy of the Lord, everybody thinks that, I am doing it. I have the propensity to control this material nature. And that becomes the cause of our bondage in this material world. So further, Manu says that, Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. Although he is the cause of everything, but he is not, the cause of everything. He is not directly responsible for this thing. So an example analogy which is given here is just as iron moved by the integrated force of magnet. So when you see the magnet is little bit above the iron, so iron moves. So the effect is that energy of the magnetic energy of the, this thing, iron magnet is making the iron move. But ultimately it causes magnet. So here the word used is nimitta matram. So material energy is just, so Lord is just a nimitta matram. In the sense, he is indirectly cause of that. Prakriti is managing under his supervision. Whereas the nimitta matram word is used. Any reference? Anybody remembers?
Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji.
Anybody
Yes,
remembers
sir.
that part of shloka or full shloka?
Nimitta matra bhavasavya sachi.
Bhavasamve Sachi. So he's saying the Lord, there also Lord says that anyway it is going to happen. All of these people who are standing in the battleground, they are going to die. But you want to become the Nimitta Matra, you can become. So in this material world also, when we do our actions, we should understand that anyway it is bound to happen. So we are just the, whatever secondary cause or something, but we should not think because of me, everything is happening. So we should not be in the illusion, specifically when we are on the path of bhakti. So very nice example is Prabhupada gives in the, this thing is that when a potter's wheel rotates and several varieties of earthen pots come out. So there are many causes for the earthen pots, but original cause is the potter who sets the force of the wheel. That force comes by his superintendence. So we see, the potters makes the earthen pots. So there are many things. He takes the mud and he puts this thing, but ultimately, what is there? The force with which the wheel is rotating. Ultimately, that is the cause. So example given here is like that. So ultimately, it's the Lord's superintendence which is making this word, this thing. So Dhruva, Manu is saying to Dhruva that you should know that every Lord is the cause of everything. So you are not the cause, or somebody else. Yakshas are giving Uttama. That is not the cause of this thing. So, okay, in the interest of time, I'll just move quickly. So, Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karana. So, Lord Brahma in Brahma Samhita, he is saying this. What is the Sarvakaran Karanam is? Govinda. Lord Govinda is the Sarvakaran Karanam. So Manu continues that by his inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of three modes of material nature and variety of energy is manifested. So it appears he is acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, he is not the killer. Thus is understood that only by his inconceivable power everything is happening. So Prabhupada in the purport talks about Achintya Bheda Tattva. He says, although it may look like that, this Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva means different at the same time, not difference, and inconceivable this concept is. So, by the Lord's energy, all this material world is running. Although he is the cause of everything, but at the same time, he is not the cause also. He's not, because he is not directly involved. So Prabhupada mentions in his incarnation of Brahma, he creates. In the incarnation of Vishnu, he maintains. By incarnation of Shiva, he annihilates. But the original source of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is always apart from these actions and reactions of material nature. In other places, Prabhupada also gives the example of sun. Although sun causes some of the sunlight to fall on a place where the urine is passed, but with the sunlight, the urine is getting evaporated and that place becomes clean. But that does not mean that sun is affected by the effect of urine. So that way, the Lord, although he creates these modes of material nature, but he is not affected by the modes of material nature. So Swambhu Manu is giving further, reasons to make Dhruv understand that Supreme Lord is the cause of everything. So he should not get carried away by this thing. The next he gives the example of, Prabhupada gives the example how the Lord is unaffected by the various interactions of this material mode. So living entities are created through the agency of Father and killed through the agency of the Lord, but he is perpetually free of birth and death. So Prabhupada gives the example of touchstone. Touchstone has the capacity to turn the iron into a gold or stone, whatever. But that does not mean that by constant touching, the power of the touchstone is reduced. So Lord has the inconceivable power that he keeps on creating the material world and still he remains the unaffected. Prabhupada gives the example of Hitler and Napoleon, who with their power have killed so many people, in millions of people. But where are they now? They themselves are killed by this thing. So, and Prabhupada warns that the devotees are not interested in this flickering examples of these great personalities, because their only focus is they are focused on the original creator and maintenance and annihilator, that is Lord Narayana, Lord Krishna. So they don't want to focus on this wrong examples. So Supreme Personality of God as in the feature of eternal time is present in material world. So basically it is the time which keeps this all the living entities engaged into the karmic reactions, fruitive activities. So example, analogy which is given in shloka is that when the wind blows, the small particles of the dust fly away in the air. So according to one's particular karma, one has to suffer and enjoy the material life. So what happens is we get carried away by modes of material nature as a result of our karmic reaction, and because of that we suffer and enjoy. So it is, although ultimately the cause is Supreme Lord, it's all material nature, three modes of material nature, they act upon us. So now the point is that it is very difficult to overcome this modes of material nature because they are acting upon us under the cycle of karmic reactions. So the only way to do this is by surrendering to the Lord. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sadaiv bhajamyam. So it's whenever whatever is our level of surrender, we can overcome these karmic reactions upon us. Then more and more Lord acts in our life and we become free from the karmic reactions. At the end, sarvdharman paritajya mamekam sharanam. When we fully surrender to the Lord, then automatically, all our Lord is saying, Aham tvam sar papebhyo, I will take away all your sins. Sins are the reactions of our karmic reactions, right? Sinful reactions we have done, reactions of our sinful actions. So now this papa, why we suffer is because we are getting the reaction. So like a dust, wind flies the dust. Similarly, we all are getting carried by the modes of material nature. Although we understand that we are under the modes of material nature, being a devotee, but still sometimes we get carried away. But for a devotee, for a person who is fully surrendered, for him there is no karmic reaction because Lord is giving guarantee that he will take away all this thing. So in these two shlokas, again, we will go to this specific from the Brahma Samhita, where, this is a famous shloka that from the Indragopa to Indra, that means a small insect to the Indra, the king of Devatas, they all are bound by karmadi nirdahati kintu ja bhakti bhajam. So everybody from the top to bottom is bound by the karmic reactions. But anybody who is surrender to the Lord. So Lord Govinda, he burns up the roots of all fruitive activities, so anybody who is doing the bhakti, so Lord Brahma is saying for him, the Lord will take away the sinful reactions. Otherwise, from top to either a small insect, Indragopa, or to Indra, the king of heaven, all are, bound by the karmic reaction. So Prabhupada writes in purport that some people say you give up the desires and then you will be liberated. But unfortunately, it is not possible to give up the desires because desires is a simple symptom of living entity. So what we have to do is all our desires we have to redirect to the Supreme Lord. So this is a shloka from third chapter where the work should be done as a sacrifice to Vishnu. Yagnathat karmano anyatra. So any karma if we do, that karma is going to bind us unless and until we do work for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that all the karmas, all our activities should be done as a sacrifice for the Lord Vishnu. So this again comes to the point that we should be very clear that, we have to work for the satisfaction of Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Otherwise, this modes of material nature, it is very, very difficult to overcome. In this shloka, Manu is saying that it's very, very difficult to understand the Lord. And Prabhupada quotes the famous frog story in his purport. Because when a frog comes from the ocean and comes to the well, and he tells to the frog that, ocean is very big. So frog says, okay, how big is it? He expands his chest. Okay, this big, this big. And then, because he is a Welsh frog, he can never visualize that how big is the ocean. Similarly, for us with our limited senses, it is very, very, difficult to understand. But Prabhupada quotes this shloka, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajtam priti purvakam dadami bodhi yogam tam yen mam upyantite. Unless and until Krishna only gives the intelligence for us to understand the greatness of Krishna, it is not possible to understand Krishna. But what is the qualification which is required? Tesham satata yuktana bhajatam priti purvaka. Always remembering Krishna, always, offering prayers to Krishna. By that, what happens is, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will give you the intelligence with which you will come to me. So when we are constantly devoted to the Lord, then Lord will give us the understanding with which you will come to. So towards the closure of this conversation, specifically regarding the Supreme Lord, so ultimately Manu says that, you are not that yakshas, they are not cause of your brother. They are being killed by the, material nature as a reaction of karmic reactions. So understand that everything is controlled by Supreme Lord. You are not the doer. So better you don't get into this activities. Now in next three or four shlokas, Manu suggests to Dhruva that you understand, you surrender to the Lord. So this is something like the last instruction which is given by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita as well to Arjuna, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So what we should do is, we have to surrender to the Lord. And Prabhupada very wonderfully writes in the purport is that in this material world, the main cause, what is the disease today is that you getting to declare independence from the Supreme Lord. And as soon as we declare independent from the Lord, our misery in this material world begins. So people individually, nationally, socially, Prabhupada is writing that they try to become the supreme controller. And in the form of death, everything is taken away. Even if you think I am the controller of this house, I am the controller of this office, I am the controller of this state, I am controller of this country, I am the controller of this world. Prabhupada has quoted earlier, Hitler, Napoleon, where are they now? They are not to be seen. There are so many kings, emperors, they came and went off. So, Mrityu, all the death, is like a amritam for this thing. Death is for demons, it's a Mrityu. And for the devotees, it's immortality. Because by constant devotional service, they purify themselves, and at the end of the life, they go back to Godhead as an eternal servant of the Lord Krishna in his abode. So they become immortal in real sense. So death is not for materialistic person, a death is something which takes away everything. For a devotee, it is a path to eternity. So he says that you have already, achieved the perfection, by devotionally serving to the Lord. So basically, for you, it is not at all difficult to, surrender to the Lord, to complete surrender, because you have already achieved the perfection. So in this reference, we know the famous song, Manushya Janam Paya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, Janiya Bhujiya Vishakainu. So if we are not utilizing our human, how we can relate to us is that, Dhruv Maharaj has already achieved that perfection in 5 years. But for us, we are sadhakas, we are practicing sadhakas. So what we have to do, we should not indulge in something lower. We should engage in continuously in the chanting the name of the Lord, performing devotional service to the Lord and his devotees, and by that try to achieve perfection, and by the mercy of the Lord, going back to Godhead in this life itself. Otherwise, it will be Janiya Bhujiya Vishakhainu. It is like knowingly eating poison, because this material world is like a poison. It is keep us in the cycle of birth and death forever. So he is saying that, so finally Manu says that face the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your original position. Thus, by self-realization, you will find his material differentiation to be merely flickering. So you will achieve self-realization, and after that, if you are at self-realization stage, then what happens? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatama na shochati na kanshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. So a person who is at a self-realized stage, for his is samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. For him, every but living entity is equal. So for Dhruva also it applies. So he is already, liberated. So for him, it should be very easy to understand. But for us, it is a little challenging. So we have to work upon us more. And then in this shloka, 30th shloka, he says that we should not be bound by I and me, aham mameti. So this is the root cause of all our bondage in this world. Because in this world, I see everything, this car belonging to me, this house belonging to me, this family belonging to me, this nation belonging to me, me. So with that, it is very difficult to overcome this propensities in this material world. But Prabhupada writes in purport, simply by devotional service unto the Lord, his illusion can be eradicated without difficulty. So for a devotee, this illusion of aham mameti is very easy. Just by rendering service to the Supreme Lord, as previously told, nadami buddhi yogam tam, he will give the intelligence with which we can go back to him. So then he further tells that whatever instructions I have given to you, with that you try to control your anger, because anger is the source of, bondage in this material world. So Prabhupada again talks about that by constantly hearing about devotional service, one can easily check the anger, the force of anger, which is otherwise very difficult to, overcome. So he's quoting Parikshit Maharaj said that constant hearing of the pastimes of the Lord is panacea for all material diseases. Everyone therefore should hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Constantly, by hearing, one can remain in the equilibrium, and thus his process in his spiritual life will not be hampered. So that's why this Hari Katha is very important to constant hearing, Shravanam Kirtanam. We should do the chanting and constant hearing of Hari Katha. By this, we will be able to overcome this lower propensity of Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. And finally, he says that you should offer your prayers to Kuvera, because by your actions you have agitated, upset Kuvera. So we'll see in next chapter how Dhruva takes a further action. So important lesson from this chapter is that we should go beyond me and mind. We should learn to control our anger. We should always take advice from devotees as they are our well-wishers. Like Dhruva accepted the advice of Manu. He was lucky that Manu came there to advise him, but in our case, that may not be possible. So we should approach other devotees and try to overcome these lower propensities. And we should not settle for something lower, as Manu is saying to Dhruva. We should develop the higher taste. understand that cause of everything is Supreme Lord, and we should surrender to Him. That should be our goal of life, and achieve the higher goal of life, going to back to Godhead. So we should always remember that our goal is going back to Godhead. As Manu was trying to Dhruva, that your goal is very high. Why you are getting settled with the lower things? Sorry, I thought I will cover a lot of things, but it's it is already 7:30. My apologies for taking it so long. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.